Hello and welcome to English Workshops. This is English Module number 1, the parts of speech. In this module, we'll be covering the 8 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections. In each section, we will deal with a few at a time, and we will explain their functions in relation to one another as we go about learning these 8 parts of speech. Welcome to English Module 1A, Nouns, Pronouns, and Verbs. In this section, we'll be covering 3 of the 8 parts of speech, namely nouns, pronouns, and verbs. So let's start with nouns. A noun is what we call a word that refers to a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. These are the types of words used to describe who or what is doing an action, that is the subject, or receiving the effect of an action, which we call the object. In a simple English sentence, generally the first word in the sentence is a noun, which happens to be the subject of the sentence. Generally, you cannot have a complete sentence without a noun or a pronoun. There are, however, 2 primary types of nouns that you should be familiar with. First, there are common nouns that refer to things that are not unique, right? Dogs, cats, food, houses are what we would call common nouns. There are many types of dogs or cats or houses or types of food. So these nouns are considered to be common nouns. The second type of nouns are proper nouns. Proper nouns refer to a specific or particular person, place, thing, or idea. So names like Andrew, Jonathan, Mary are proper nouns because they are used to refer to a particular person. In English, we capitalize the first letter of proper nouns in order to make it clear we're talking about a specific person or thing. A good example of why distinguishing between common nouns and proper nouns is important is the word God. The word God in English simply refers to a powerful spiritual being. We can talk about the Greek gods, Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, etc. And in this case, the word gods is a common noun with a lowercase g, because we're talking about general gods, not a specific god. When we talk about the one true God, however, of the Bible, we use God with a capital G. This is because God is a proper noun. It's a name. It refers to a unique, particular, specific God, namely the God Yahweh of the Old Testament. So when you're using God in your papers, you need to distinguish whether you're talking about a person, the personal God of Yahweh, or you're talking about a classification of being, God or gods. Next, we have pronouns. Now, pronouns are used to refer to another noun or noun phrase that is unnecessary to state or restate. Pronouns are words like he, she, it, they, them, I, me, you, or in some cases, y'all, meaning you all. The pronoun I, me, and you are used to refer to a participant in a conversation, since you wouldn't have to mention their name again once you've got their attention. While he, she, it, they are used to refer to a noun or noun phrase that was previously mentioned and is unnecessary to repeat again. There are a few different types of pronouns. Relative pronouns are words that connect a noun to a relative clause, also known as an adjective clause, such as the words who, whom, whose, which, or that. See Module 1B for more on these relative clauses. There are also interrogative pronouns and are used to talk about questions where a noun would be the answer. These are words like who, whom, whose, which, or what. Note these are similar to the relative pronouns, but their function is different. Here's an example. The question, who did best on the test, could be answered with Mark did best on the test. In this instance, Mark takes the place of the interrogative pronoun, just like he, she, or it takes the place of a noun that it stands in place for. So generally, interrogative pronouns stand in that blank that needs to be filled with the information. So these are usually questions. So the word interrogative means it's a question. And so be aware of pronouns are more than just he, she, it, or they. They can also be questions like who, where, what, which, and so on. Next, verbs. Verbs are words that describe an action or state of being that a noun, a person, place, thing, or idea, does or experiences. Sometimes multiple verbs are used to express a single action. Usually this consists of one main verb and 1 to 3 auxiliary or helping verbs. We use the term predicate when we refer to that part of the sentence that contains the information that is predicated, that means to state or assert about the subject. So the verbs, the main verb and the helping verbs, equal the predicate. Now let's put this all together. A simple sentence consists of a subject and a predicate. This can be as simple as Nick runs, or it can be as complex as Nick will have been eating vegetables. The first simply has a noun, which is functioning as a subject, and a verb, which makes up the whole of the predicate. The second sentence, however, starts with a noun, Nick, which is the subject, will have been are 3 helping verbs. Eating is the main verb, which means this all here is the predicate, and then another noun, vegetables, which is the object. And so as you can see, using these parts of speech, you can begin to craft simple and even more complex sentences. And as we'll see, as we add in more and more of the parts of speech, we can go on to more and more complex things. Here's an example of how pronouns are used. Let's say, for example, we have been talking about Nick's eating habits. It would sound strange in English to repeat the name Nick over and over again if we had not changed the subject. So instead of saying something like, Nick eats lots of vegetables so that Nick will live a healthier life, we could simply say, Nick eats lots of vegetables so that he will live a healthier life, with obviously Nick still being the person we're talking about. And so pronouns make it simpler to refer back to the same person without repeating yourself continually. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been informative on the 3 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, and verb. In the description below, there will be more links added to various media such as videos and articles concerning these parts of speech. And as always, until next time, thank you for watching.